I just spent a few hours painting some skin color on this thing. Wow, I can't really talk anymore. I got pretty far, I think. I just wanted to get in the colors that were lightest. And then I had some pink laying around, so I wanted to finish the arms here as well. I'll definitely go over them later and include some more colors and like make it more interesting. But for me, it always works to work in layers, especially with things like hands and feet. I'll probably do like a glazing on top or flesh out some more details, but for now this is fine. And this body is going to be mostly blue, so that's going to be a little bit more weird. And then this one is mostly going to be pink, but not in the pink sense that this is. So that's like a new palette for me. And so I think so far I filled up quite a lot. Yeah, I think it's starting to look nice. It looks really realistic right now. I'm not exactly sure what I am going to do, like how I'm going to do the background. The background is probably going to be tons of layers to figure out for myself what color I want and how much detail I want, but we'll figure that out when we get there. Then there's a few spots like this. They look a little bit weird. They're also not on the photos, but I am thinking of including some shapes there that I thought of with another sketch. And it's gonna be, I don't know if it's gonna work. If it doesn't work, then I'm gonna fill it in with the rest of this color because I think that might also just be nice. But I wanted to try it. And that's there on the leg, but it's also here. And then there's like this, I think it's especially going to work on this as a shape on this part of the body. Here you have a weird one as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one. I think it's not. I think it's going to stop here. But for now, I'm just gonna call it quits. Maybe I'm going to continue tomorrow. I still have some computer work to do and my brain is a little bit fried. I always have this, I think I can paint for about 4 hours and then I'm really fast in those 4 hours, but after 4 hours have passed, I'm done. I always admire people that can paint for like 12 hours, but if I paint for 12 hours, because I did it for a mural once, you can like put me to bed for a week. all the creative energy is gone, and that's not something that I enjoy for my regular life. That's more like turbo setting. So yeah. Time to go. See you tomorrow. It's the next day. I will maybe paint a little bit today, but I mostly have computer work I have to do that I wanted to do yesterday. But I always like sitting in front of the painting after a full painting day and just seeing what pops up first. And because you're not as focused anymore on the details as you were when you were painting it. And I think I am liking what I did. And I might even change the background, because that's what I'm noticing now, more to the reference image that I originally made. Because I think the darker brownish tones might actually be nice to offset the purple pink tones. I really enjoy the white light legs more than I expected. I really like painting really light parts, but then somehow I almost always forget about them. I forget to paint them, and this way I'm really enjoying them. But I think the next thing to do for me is to flesh out the figures, the main colors, because the colors now are still really similar. They're like really next to each other, which I don't like. I think there's too little contrast, but it's going somewhere. And I know to add more contrast, it's going to be a few more layers of painting anyway. I know, like, I don't have to worry about having too little colors. But yeah, I enjoy, especially from afar. I really enjoy the realism and the shadows and the lighting. And sometimes you can get kind of lost when you're looking at it from up close. And it's like, I know I blended a lot this time. I didn't put a lot of harsh shapes next to each other, but now when I look at it from afar, I really enjoy that, because I know there's going to be like some more harsher forms on top with more texture. So that I did that on purpose. Because I don't want to have to work with texture later in the painting when I don't want the texture anymore, because that is kind of impossible, but you can put the texture on top. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I also have an idea for the next one, which is this one. I don't even know if you can see me still, but for this painting, I mean, there's nothing there yet, but I have an idea of what I want to paint on this. And it's going to be more zoomed in than the bodies of this one, because these are kind of life-sized. But then this one is going to be a bit bigger than life-size, I think. Well, they're not life-size. They're bigger than life-size. But this one is going to be bigger than this one. I'm looking forward to that. I do have to get new linen, though, because I have these stretchers, which are a nice change in size, but then I don't have the linen to cover them. And I have to buy linen by the roll, by 10 meters. The rolls are so expensive, so I'm kind of postponing that until I am actually gonna paint on them. But I also have this rule for my planning of the year to not be cheap with materials. So I'm gonna have to do that eventually, but first I'm going to focus on these two for a bit. It's going to be there. If I make up my mind, it's going to be there in like a day or 3 anyway. The painting was able to dry over the weekend, and I think today I'm going to focus on this figure and see how pink I want the other figure to be, because that's this one, and she already seems a little bit pink, but I want it to be a bit of a different hue. And I want to see, maybe not today, but if the bluer parts here, like where you see the green lines, that should be a different part of the painting. So it should be filled in with like different hues, and that's bigger over here. So you have this really big shape over here. But I'm not sure if I want to continue that, but we'll see if it works. This is actually going to be the normal blue, and then this is actually the big shape. That should be another color, but we'll see. First, let's just mix some colors, because I only have the fleshy tones over here, fleshy light tones, and it's going to be this blue shape over here. So we're going to mix some blues. Huh? Oh, wauw. Ik las net dat het misschien ging sneeuwen, maar... Ja, morgen. Maar dit is vandaag. Oh, wauw. Het gaat nog harder. Ja. It's time to sign this big print. La la la. First unpack it. I always feel a little bit insecure of unpacking it because every little smudge can get on there, and I mean, this prints, the paper is really thick, but it's also white, and you can see everything on there, and they are not cheap to print. So I am always a little bit nervous to open it and sign it, but then I'm gonna put it right in the piece of plastic again. Clean hands. All right, we are on the next day. I'm gonna finish this pink part, but for now I wanted to tell you first what I've been listening to this entire painting. And I use Spotify. It's just the audio service that I've been using for years. I don't know if it's better than anything else, but they've rolled out audiobooks, I think, since last month or so, at least in the Netherlands. And I never listen to audiobooks because I love reading by paper, but I can't really concentrate that well all the time. So since audiobooks have gotten better over the years, like the voices have gotten better over the years, the budgets have been increased for audiobooks as well because more people have been listening to it. I love this new feature. So I have been listening to this book called Down the Drain by Julia Fox. I think she's more known in like the fashion world. It's an it's an autobiography or a memoir, I guess, and it's insane. I'm actually feeling a little bit bad by smiling about this because her story is really terrible, and it's traumatic, and I don't even know how she was able to even write a memoir if you listen to it, but it's so good. It was 10 hours of listening, but I was hooked. And yeah, I couldn't recommend this enough. And especially, even if you want to listen to another book, I'm normally not really a fan of listening to anything spoken during painting, but I found, maybe it's also because she voiced her own book, so she narrated her own book, which is something that I really like. So she doesn't have like the monotone voice, but something about it was nice. Sometimes I feel like I'm a bit too influenced by the voices or like interviews, because I need to think about interviews and it's like separate people talking, and that's more like a podcast format. But this was nice. This was a really relaxing thing to do while painting. And I've also been listening to it while cleaning, while sanding chairs, while doing whatever I didn't need my ears to do anything. So yeah, definitely check out the audiobooks. I also listened to Bell Hooks. It's an older book. You may know it. It's very famous. It's written in like 2000. It's the first one I listened to, actually. And also loved it. Other narrator, not herself because she passed away unfortunately, but just a book that I've always wanted to listen to or always wanted to read, but I never picked it up for some reason. And that's with a lot of books that are on there. Like, I've been wanting to read some of them, but I mean, every book is like 20 euros. So I don't mind spending money on books, but there is like a finite resource of things that I can buy. And with this, it's like I pay the premium account anyway. So why not just listen to it? So yeah, very low threshold of listening to books. Tip. Okay, pink. By the way, look how clean my brushes are since I've been using the other cleaning stuff. They're so soft. I cleaned these last night and they're just like, look at them. Even the big one. I mean, I know I can clean this one a little bit better, but I know I'll be using it this week, so I didn't want it to do like a thorough 1 hour clean, but look at it. It's so nice. Okay, it's lunchtime, so I'm gonna take a break from painting, but I just wanted to show you what I've done so far. I think I've been painting for about 1.5 hours or so, and I've been painting a bit more sketch-like instead of the blue part, because the blue I really knew where I wanted to paste the colors. I also knew where I wanted the shadows, and it was very much more less thinking. And with this part, I knew I wanted it to be a little bit more loose and also a little bit translucent. I'll show you from close up actually. What I mean by translucent is that I started out by using a bit more transparent colors, and this is a bit more thicker. Like you can see, you can almost see nothing from underneath, but this is where it peeks through. I'm not sure if I want to keep this. Maybe this will disappear, but stuff like this, I really, really like. So this is definitely gonna stay the same, but then I might pack more paint on this part. And I think after my break, I'm just gonna go full for the arm and work my way up to there for the rest of the day. But this is more, I don't know, it's a lot more loose instead of this, for example. This is very thought out. And here as well, which I really love, but I didn't know exactly where I wanted that here, because my sketch and my photo reference isn't super clear. It's quite blurry and moving. And for this, let me put you back. I sometimes like to be more sketch-like with my painting, and then I can always work up to this from this, but in here I get all these interesting textures that I like and that I can choose to keep or that I can choose to paint over. So that's a little bit of my process. Also, my reference is a bit more pink. However, this part, so this part of the body is more red. So I'm gonna see if I paint this more pink. If this is also gonna see more pink, but maybe the pink is gonna go. I don't know. It's pretty red now, but it also depends on the colors that I'm gonna use for this. I'm now looking at the reference and see some orange there, which actually could be cool as a color over there. I'm not sure yet. I don't know yet. I'm not sure what I want to do with the background. I have no idea. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna make a photo and Photoshop it in different colors. That's what I do with large paintings when I don't want to ruin everything with a layer of paint and then have to wait for weeks until it's dry. Yeah. Maybe I'll make like a photo in the end of the day and see if what I want to do. I don't know how it is with you, and in this part of the world, it is so dark. I have to put my camera on so bright. And also the studio is so dark right now. It's been gray and cold. It was supposed to snow today, and I have to keep the window open for fresh air, but it's so freezing. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about something my studio mate yesterday said, actually. And she asked me, because I wanted to paint bigger, and this is the biggest painting I've made so far. It's 3 meters by 1.5 meters. And she asked me, like, hey, is it very different from the other paintings? Like, do you notice a difference in size? But I actually don't. It feels very comfortable. It felt intimidating at the start because you have to look at the entire canvas. But now that I've put down the basics, I think it's pretty similar. I think it would have been different though if instead of 2 figures, I would have painted 1 large figure, because then you have these huge shapes to fill. But now it's actually quite comfortable. It's not very, I don't know. There's not huge shapes you have to fill. It's just a bit bigger than human size, which I like. I think I'm very comfortable in that size. And so no, it doesn't really feel different. And that's just something that I wanted to share with you. I don't know why, but it felt like something fun. Because she told me yesterday and I was like, oh yeah, no, actually not. Maybe it's recognizable for you. I actually feel more uncomfortable now by painting smaller paintings, because I still have these 4 small ones. I still have these ones to fix. And this one is done, actually. I think this one is done. Maybe like 1 top layer. But this and this, they still need something. And I have a 4th one, but it's not here. But I don't feel like finishing them. I am going to finish them this week, though. I have to, because otherwise they're going to be on that pile of wasn't motivated enough to finish it. And that would be a shame, because I do really like them. But yeah, the smaller ones are actually less comfortable to work on right now. I think the bigger ones are just like more physical. And I like the more physical painting than the tiny desk painting and being super detailed. Yeah. I also realized that I say that I'm tired a lot. I'm not doing very hard work, not doing very physical work. But I think it's the weather and the cold. The cold makes you tired as well. And it is already 2:30 right now, so it is a little bit later. But yeah, just wanted to let you know that I do not think that I have a tough job and that I'm tired from the tough job. It's just that I feel a little bit, maybe it's a vitamin D defect or something. Even though I take the pills every day, I don't know if I notice a difference. Yeah, okay, let's start. Okay, I'm back. The first thing that I am running into right away with using an app to choose an audiobook is the overwhelming amount of choice. In a bookshop, I know exactly which book I want. I see it by the cover. I know which covers I like, what fonts I like, what genres to look for. With this, it's just an endless scroll. I don't know what to pick. And I think that is, like, I think you have to know what you want to read and then you can read it, but it doesn't work if you're like, oh, well, let's see it, like as a bookshop. But no, I think I'm just going to go to my Goodreads and see if there's like a book that I still want to read, because this is endless. This is impossible to pick. This is the weirdest arm ever. My reference isn't super clear, so I'm actually gonna look up the photo because it doesn't seem like a possible anatomy for an arm. It looks broken now, and I have to fix it before I continue because it looks so strange. And this will make sense. I've tried to recreate it, but it doesn't work because it's shot from above, and it looks so weird. I already had trouble with getting the hand right. It's not right yet, but I think I got it at a position that I kind of like it in like a weird way. But this part, it looks broken. I know like my elbow is a little bit hypermobile, but still does not make sense. Okay, I am done for today. Worked on the arm and the hands. One hand I am actually pretty happy with. It's a little bit abstract, but it looks fine. This one now I am unhappy with. Maybe I'll look at it later. I don't know. I'm happy with the colors here. I think I really like the red to pink. But I'm curious to see what this part of the painting will do. I think also these shapes could be interesting. They could also not be interesting. And they could maybe disappear. I don't know. It looks pretty epic though. And I'm talking epic as in it looks very full of movement, and I like that. I think that is really nice. Also in love with this blue hue. Things that I'm definitely adding afterwards, by the way, are little details like when I know what color this is gonna be, then there's gonna be like the, I don't know, I think it's called cast shadow. So for example, if this is blue, then you're gonna have a little bit of blue shadow on the leg because the background is blue, so it reflects the light. But since I don't know what color I'm gonna make it yet, I don't wanna add that yet. But that's all gonna be like the later details, later touches. But so far I'm really happy with the skin tone. I think it's also, even here, it looks pretty cool. Because this part is like blue, red pinkish, and then this is white, but it still looks nice. It still looks cohesive, and I really like these pink gloves almost as well. I was even thinking of using the pink as sort of markings over here, but then I also thought maybe that's going to be too obvious. It's too obvious a solution, so I might not do that, but yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna leave it here for now and see about this tomorrow or the day after.